Hello! This has always been one of my most popular videos, so I'm back. I'm finally posting another one. I am filming this Friday morning, so this has to go up pronto. But the way I did it, since I'm filming it on Friday morning instead of going Sunday to Sunday, I went Friday to Friday. And I am going to be crocheting a little bit, obviously, after this video, but I know exactly what I'm going to do after this video, and I already have something done that is already that thing, so I'm just going to show you one that I didn't do during the span of this week, but it is going to be what I make anyways, just so you guys can still visually see it. And real quick, I want to point out my little gloves here. I just bought these like the other day. They feel so nice. They got like little silicone grips. They're little compression gloves. I just bought them from Walmart. They're nothing special. They cost me 20 bucks, so they better work. They better work. But I do want to say real quick, if you are a crocheter and you're using compression gloves, just there's no need. I'm wearing these because I have a muscular disease of some sort, and it's reaching my hands now. Like, I can feel them swelling up and hurting, so I had to start wearing them, which is uncrochet related because I have it everywhere on my body essentially. But that's why I am wearing them. If you're crocheting and wearing them, I don't recommend it. It's not great for you. You're not supposed to be wearing compression gloves like that, I've been told. So I've always steered away from them. I only wear them for like an hour in the morning. That's what I was recommended to do based on the state of swelling in my hands. But I just wanted to point those out real quick since I know a lot of crocheters wear them to like prevent arthritis even though they're like 20. So into the actual video, everything I crocheted within a week span from a Friday to a Friday, and we're here. So I wrote down in order everything that I crocheted, except my list is a little skewed because I hid it when I was setting things down. I kind of have the things on my little table here on the floor in front of me and then on my little bed behind me. So I did write everything down in order though, so if you see me looking over there, I'm looking at the list to see what to show you guys next. Obviously in the thumbnail you saw a couple different things, which is exactly what you think they were. So the first thing I did was one of the Genshin dolls that I've been talking about for a couple of videos now. I don't know which ones. So if you remember hearing them before, you can finally see one of them. This one is Zhongli from Genshin Impact. And they got this really cool hair. I had to paint the eyes to be brown because there's no there's no solid brown safety eyes. So if you can see little chunk clunks, ignore those. All the body details. There's even some on the back, and then all of the hair you can see I had to glue down. I was timing these to see how long they took me. I didn't count how much materials it used, which I was supposed to do, and I forgot to do beforehand. So I guess I can do those on the other dolls that I'm making. But this one is the little Zhongli. The heads are a little floppy. I'm working on it. No, this one's not a postable one. I was having several versions, well, not several, I was having two different versions, where it was just a stuffed doll, where it's like you can just play with it. Like, if you love the character, you could just play with it. I want to sell a collector's version as well, where the arms have wires in it, so they're posable, so you could just, like, pose them up like this, I guess. And then you could stick them on a stand. I was trying to make, like, little stands that matched their color schemes, but that does take a while. I did forget this little guy's nose, but it will be added on later. But this was the first thing I made, which took almost the entire weekend to do, which is like, what? Like I said, I was timing how long it took me to make this. It took me 7 hours. Not 7 hours straight, obviously, but 7 hours to make this. To make this doll. But I think it looks amazing. I think it turned out great. I do have a couple more of these. I was trying to make 3 of each before my craft show, so that way if someone bought one, I had extras, but I do plan to sell these online. The Etsy store is taking a little bit longer than I would have liked, but it happens sometimes. So here is the first thing I made, which was this Zhongli. And then during the same course of the weekend, if I wasn't working on the Zhongli, I was working on the purses that I mentioned before, which I know you've seen before. The citrus purses I did for a pattern test recently. This isn't one that I did during the weekend, but I'm just showing it to you. This is the orange version. But like I said, I didn't do that one this weekend. I had all of the bases done, but I crocheted all of the triangles and the seeds and then applied them all, and then I put fabric linings on the inside, all of them, and I like my insides to be able to like fold out so that way if you're like emptying out your purse, then you can just stick them right back in there. Maybe that's a bad thing, I don't know. Personally, that's what I like to do. And I also made this one longer so it's cross-bodied, but I crocheted all the triangles and the seeds and then sewed the inside, and sewing takes a while for me, so this took a good few hours. And then the third version, which is the lime version, once again I crocheted the triangles and the seeds on both sides and then applied the fabric liner inside. So let me know which of the three you like the best. If you were like the lime, the lemon, or the orange. I personally like all of them. I think they all look amazing. I think they're so cute. I'd love to see somebody just like in public rocking one of these, and I'm just like, I made that, but I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't have a good track record of selling purses and stuff like that, but I love making them. Well, I've sold a few more recently, like, but they're actually like tote bags and not purses. But those were the next things on my list. And if you remember from a few videos back when I did the how many mini makes could I make out of a ball of white for like the bin animals I was making, I finally finished them all so I can show you them all. But I didn't do them all this week. But here is what the one looks like. This one's the unicorn. I did do just solid pink because I assume most girls would be buying these. So both of them have little pinks. It still has this little muzzle thing. I tried it. I still don't know if I like it or not. It might just be like a me thing that it looks off. But one thing I do want to do is I want to take these hairs and I want to like sew them down so they sit flat instead of pucker up. Like how they're doing on the back almost, so they sit flat down instead of puckering like this one's doing now. But that's, oh, I guess compared this one to this one, you see what I mean? If I were to glue the strands back like that instead of them flickering out like this, I don't know, maybe on the contrary, you'd want them to be like pullable and playable if it is a kid's toy, because there are 3 strands, so technically you could braid it, I guess. I don't know, let me in the comments down below if you like the idea of just leaving them fringed up like this, or if I should like glue or slow them down like aesthetically. But here's what the unicorn looks like. I will show you the rest of them since I just said that I would, but these ones were not made within the week span. I just really like them. They're all really cute to me. So once again, the unicorn one. Here's an otter, a fox, a cow, a boonie, a seal, and there is one last one, which is the panda bear. I think they're all really cute. I'm hoping that they sell really well in the bins, because usually it's my bin items that sell the best anyways, because they're the cheapest. I usually have a $10 bin, and that's where like all of the kids would gravitate to, because it was only $10, and it was like mostly cheap, smaller things. Or like cheap in terms of like efficient for me to make, since I measure out the grams and I play that into how I price things. So let's take this for example. Let's say this takes 50 grams of white. And then I know that in a Burnett blanket ball there's 300 grams of white. And then I can make 4 of these unicorns out of one said ball of white. Obviously, if I'm making these as bin items, I'm making all 4. So I might as well just incorporate like half of the cost into each. So let's say the yarn costs $4, even though it does not. Each unicorn would have a profit cost of at least minimum $1 rather than just $4, $4. But that's just how I like to do it, just so that way I can have cheaper, affordable options at the table, and then the more expensive options for people that have a bigger budget to spend at craft shows, because I do a primarily lot of like smaller craft shows still, just like mostly in like random places that are like hosting it. Whenever I see a flyer, I'm like, yes, give me it. I don't know where it is, but I'll take it. But I made the 2 unicorns after that. The other ones were just randomized. And then I did parts of a Baphomet. If you remember Yarnmas, I made a giant red Baphomet head that was sparkly that my friend had me do. And then because I couldn't finish that because I ran out of yarn, I made a pink one. So if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. But it's basically just like that classic like demon that everyone makes on like Instagram and stuff. So here's the head and here's the not done finished body. I actually ran out of the red yarn, hence why I stopped making it. But compared to how big the velvet one was, this is much smaller, so I kind of do like that aesthetic. But maybe I will just make it in the velvet because it's bigger. But I guess smaller means more people are willing to buy it. I don't know. I would have to purchase the yarn in this color again to finish it, which I'm pretty sure I got this red acrylic from just Red Heart in Walmart, so I'm gonna have to do that later. This doesn't look much like a Baphomet yet. I feel like the Symbols monkey from Toy Story is going do 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 do. But that's kind of not even really done. But the last thing I have is a Oogie Boogie backpack. I seen this when the pattern originally dropped. I bought it instantly and then I didn't like account for doing anything with it yet. It's because I didn't have the yarn. And then one day I was in Joann's just driving my little car around and I found a giant clearance section. So I went, scoop! I went right in and I found this awesomely pretty, let me grab the ball here, this awesomely pretty like neon limeish yellow that's actually got sparkles across the whole thing. And then I found a light gray color. I was like, buy. It was like $8 a ball, which is like super cheap. It's usually like $12, $13. So I was like, they're coming home with me. So this is how much I have left after making one. So I don't think I can make 2 out of 1 ball, which kind of stinks. But I still have that. It's not done yet, but here's the bottom part of the bag. These are little drawstrings, so you could see. Here's the bag. I did sew this one down just since it's supposed to be a backpack. You don't want the like everything coming out at once. But there is a black lining in here, which you can't really tell. There it is. There's the fabric. But these are drawstrings, so you could pull these closed, which is a little hard for me to do with these gloves on. But you'd pull it closed so your stuff won't come out, because now look at the hole. And then you can just pull them back open. Like so. Shkadoop, shkadoop. And you could just pull it back open. So these are the little drawstrings. So move those aside. There's one spider here, and then another huge spider here. It's got its little arms. And then on the back, it's got the straps still. So obviously, I still have to attach the head, but it would go like this. So I made some extra long straps just to try to make it fit in the middle of your bag, just because that's where it's going to be the most supported. And obviously, in the thumbnail, I stuffed the unicorn in the backpack, which I just thought was fun. Here is the head, and I only have to do like details on the head left, which is why it just looks like this at the moment. But I do have the eyeballs done, so I can pull one up to show you. Gimme. So it would just sit here like this, and then there's additional eyelids I have to put on like this. That would go around the eye to look like that. Like, that looks pretty close. And then I have that on both sides. And then I have to make additional stitches across the lips, across the eyelids, and across the top of the head here. But other than that, the head will just get sewn to the back of this ridge. And then it will look like this. And then when you open up the backpack, you would have to pull its head back like that. And then you could pull this stuff out, which I think is super cute. Like I said, I knew I wanted to make this immediately. As soon as I saw the pattern drop, I instantly bought it. I just didn't get enough time to finish it, sadly. So today, as in until like, I don't know, noon, I'll be working on this, hopefully, to finish it. So there's that. And then the one last thing I have before I call it quits here is what I'm doing today. Afternoon. Yeah, afternoon, not just in the afternoon. Is I'm making another one of the Genshin dolls, because I like timing myself over the weekends, because I just feel like when it's the weekend, like I'm not working, I'm not thinking about filming a video just yet. I do that on the weekdays. So I have the time off to really sit there, count, and time myself. So this weekend, I'm making another one of the Genshin dolls, and I'm making Nahida. This obviously isn't the one that I've made. This is just a different one that I had already previously made, but I'm showing it to you anyways. So here's the front. The head has a lot of details. Once again, I painted the eyes. This one actually has its nose. A lot of front details on the body. A bunch of details on the back. And then the hair goes all the way around. Even under the little ponytail, which is kind of cute. I love the little ponytail. Oh, and did you see this little braid here I did? So cute. Her head's a bit more floppy. It's not as secured. But she is one of the posable dolls, I believe. Let me check her arms. It's a little hard to tell, honestly. But I could have her arms down like this, or if I pull them up, they would sit like up a bit more. I don't know. I was trying out a wiring. I don't think this wire is the best that it could have been, but they will like semi-stay, and the head semi-stays. Trying it, working on it. I'm working on the doll stands as well, but like I'm using floral foam and then I'm crocheting around them and then like sticking needles and wires in them to try to make like the dolls stand via their feet. So you'd set it on the stand and they would stand via their feet. But I'm having a problem, which you can obviously see, which is the head is too big. So it's leaning from side to side and knocking it off of its stand. So if you have any help in the comments, if you make doll stands or if you just have any ideas, because I'm willing to listen, on how to make it more efficiently stand. Like, I thought about adding wire here to like support it more, but that's not helping the fact that the head's tilting. Even on the Zhongli, he's had the best head support because I did it before I glued all the hair down, but even now you can see it's still slouching from one side to the other. But I don't want to sew them down because I like the idea of you being able to move them around. So it's like you can have them looking straight, you can have them looking that way, you know. So if you have the whole collection or if you want to act things out, you can move the heads around. So I don't know. Any advice on that would be helpful because they're too top heavy and I don't know how to even that out. I saw somebody on YouTube like take hot glue and put hot glue all over the insides of the feet. So like if I were to put hot glue, like an inch of hot glue down at the base, it would give it more structure. But that's a little risky to try that because I don't know, like, that would take so much additional time each time I make one of the dolls that it's like, especially if I don't know it's going to work. Like, I have better odds of, like, trying it on something else, but then I guess it doesn't actually show me if it is top heavy, so I guess that doesn't help at all. But it was a short week. I really only did the 5-ish things, not including the multiple bags of citrus liners or the multiple unicorns. Excuse me. But I did do quite a bit for not crocheting that much, for mostly having to sew for so long. So that's all I have in terms of everything I crocheted in a week. Next time I do one of these videos, hopefully it will be a lot more items, because I feel like that's what you guys really like. You love seeing all of the, like, several different items I have. This one was a tad bit shorter, even though my time on the video would disagree. But that's all I've got. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to stop saying that for the third time. And I'm just going to see you guys next Friday.